We can get this party started. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Anton on One podcast for the curious and ambitious and anxious young Filipinos. So right now I'm with Anjo Silvoza. I know you wear many hats. You have a lot of stuff. Can you just quickly run down through what is it professionally you do?
Professionally, I think I would classify myself as an entrepreneur. So I run a fried chicken shop called Sabong. That's my main.
That's
thing.
my favorite food.
Thank you.
In LU. No, not lying.
So I run Sabong mainly, and then I co-own a music studio with the rest of the She's Only 16 boys and L Union. We partnered up with a studio called Bavarian Studios kasi naging friends kami dahil sa Bavarian Donuts.
Do you know the joke? What did the donut tell the other donut on top of the tree?
Hassle.
I won't even.
Hassle.
I na.
Hassle. And then, other than that, I am the marketing manager for a optical lens company back in Manila. So, I do all of those things and then some.
When you let's backtrack. When you graduated from college, you studied in and what
Ateneo.
course?
I was in economics.
Okay, so I would say that's kind of like the fact you went like that. Parang medyo typical traditional, like you'd expect someone from Ateneo studied their high school also, and then you'd imagine like gets like a corporate job 9 to 5. But what you're doing now is totally different. Like the college Anjo, was he expecting or hoping to do something like what you're doing today?
I think anything I'm doing now, I would have never expected. Like, I was doing She's Only 16 for fun, and then I was in economics. So my whole life, I was parang projecting myself to be in a bank. Like, I was in Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas as an OJT, as an intern before. Like, that was my path. Because my dad worked there. That's why I studied economics. And then that was the only parang trajectory I saw myself in. And then, wala na. Parang after college, I was applying for some jobs, and then in the middle of that, I had an old friend, a teacher, who asked me like, Anjo, can you pretend to be a teacher for like a couple of weeks?
You were a teacher then pala for a while.
I became a teacher.
In Ateneo High School?
Yeah, I became a high school teacher. And the story with that was, I had a friend who told me na, can you just pretend to be a teacher for 2 weeks? Kasi we're looking to hire someone, pero we haven't found him yet, or him or her yet. So in the process, sub ako, pero in the start of classes. So it's weird to have a sub in the very start, diba? So I was gonna pretend to be their teacher, and then I was gonna leave.
Did you teach Filipino?
I taught Filipino.
For some reason, that's when I see parang teachers who kind of went to the same path. Oh, this guy went to Ateneo High School too, Ateneo College also. They always end up teaching Filipino.
Hindi ko nga rin gets pero ganun nga nangyari. And then, I was really just pretending. Like, they were giving me a script to say every day. Na parang just say this, go through this, and then after that, okay ka na, pwede ka na umalis. Like, you can just do it for 2 weeks just as a favor. Tapos parang 2 weeks went by, so wala silang sub, wala silang kapalit. Tapos parang, Anjo, pwedeng 2 weeks ba? Nag-hire pa kami. Okay, 2 weeks ba? Became like 2 years. I stayed for 2 whole years.
In those first 2 weeks, where did you feel like the magic of like, shit, parang gusto maging teacher?
Sobra. Hindi naman. It was the magic of being back in Ateneo. I felt like a kid.
Yeah, for sure.
Parang ganun. Like, I felt like a kid. I could relate to what they were going through kasi I just came off of college. So it was everything in the high school was still fresh to me.
Yeah.
But then, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, quiz? Ano quiz natin? Like, I'm gonna make shit up.
2 years.
Yeah.
Like, there must have been a point where you kind of accepted na
Yeah.
you weren't like pretending. When did you feel like you weren't pretending na?
I wasn't pretending na, I think, by third term of my first year. Parang
it took a while.
Like, I was just waiting. So parang, wala na talaga. Like, I'll stay for the end of the year na. And then, that was a time na I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I realized na I didn't want to be in a corporate setting. Like, that wasn't where I wanted to go.
Does the school fall under corporate setting for you?
Medyo. But then, there was freedom to do parang things. Like, there was so much freedom to do things. So, and create things. So I didn't feel like I was in a corporate setting where I needed to do this and that and sell this and that. Parang ganon. And then, yun na siya. Like, I was able to do that and still be in She's Only 16. So, parang nagkaroon ng I can do both of what I wanted.
Did that sort of remind you of school? I've also talked to a bunch of people and myself na when we're in school, because I think you and I, what we have in common, is we have the school, the boring, parang required shit to do, and then the creative, parang fun side. You had your band, I had my dancing. I always felt like I'm learning now na I think I kind of need that balance in my life. So in that time, did you feel like parang it was sort of like an extension of school?
Yeah,
except you're teaching now.
Sobra. And then that was the time na, when you're starting your first job and you're in a corporate setting, like usually that's the worst period. They make you do everything. So you have to kiss ass as much as possible.
Yeah.
And then I think I was seeing my friends do that.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing it also, but then they were doing it because they really wanted to climb the ladder.
They wanted to climb the corporate ladder.
Tapos parang ako, as a teacher, there was no ladder to climb. Like, that was it.
Yeah.
Tapos parang, okay, I don't want to do that. Like, I think I like this freedom and this time for myself. Parang it was starting to slowly form. So I had sem break, I had Christmas break, I had summer as a teacher, diba? So parang I still had like a lot of free time.
Yeah.
And that's parang the space I wanted to be in.
When did that transition naman for you from being a teacher? Why did you end the 2 years?
I ended the 2 years kasi if you're gonna continue on your third year, you need to take the entrance test, like the licensure exam.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't want to do that kasi parang
aral na naman ako.
Aral na naman ako, ganyan. So that was the time na my family was trying to get me into the family business, but I didn't want to do that also. So an opportunity came up to do like the small food stall.
This one, Sabong na?
No, not
even.
yet. Not even. Parang the small food stall at where Uptown BGC is now. Parang they gave me like, I got an opportunity na, if you can make a brand in 3 days, sige, you can run a food stall.
This was a marketing job?
This was like a cooking job. Like,
did you have any experience?
Wala.
How did this opportunity,
a friend was doing it, tapos sinama lang niya ako, gano'n.
Okay.
Tapos parang I was jobless at that time. I just resigned, diba? Tapos parang it was the start of the new year, and then I had nothing to do pa. So parang, okay, I think I can cook a bit, ganyan. So
you kind of just learned on the job?
Yeah, I just learned on the job. Like, I made my own small food brand, ganyan. I was selling like pita pockets and parang on a makeshift table.
How long was this one naman?
That was like a month, and then my first restaurant opened. Parang I decided, I think I'm gonna go into food. Like, this is a space I truly enjoy.
So after 1 month of learning how to cook and stuff, you thought, I'll do the whole thing on my own?
Medyo.
Oh, wow, okay.
Medyo. Just because parang doors just kept opening up. Yeah. And at that time, it felt like the best decision possible.
At that point, okay.
Yeah, parang I could make a restaurant. Let's do it. Like,
okay. And you were how old at this time? Do you remember?
I was 25.
Okay.
24, 25. Tapos parang, I got nothing else like better to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'll make a restaurant.
Okay.
So there was that. Like, so I just ran a restaurant with another friend. Parang in his old house. Tapos renovate namin on the spot.
This is in Manila?
Yeah, in Manila, in Maganhawa. I had no money. So ako yung carpentero, ako yung nagpipaint, ako yung naglinis, ako yung gumawa ng tables. Like, it was a lot of manual labor.
Did you enjoy this type of work even before pa?
Because it felt like, like rolling
like
up
a
your
man.
sleeves. Like,
yeah, okay.
You're rolling up your sleeves. Like, ito yung business talaga.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And I really had no money that time. So I really had no choice.
No choice then. Okay.
I didn't want to ask money from my parents. Ganyan. Kasi it was a weird path. So if I were to do it, I had to do it by myself. Yeah. That was the choice.
Like if you were to ask, dapat sobrang sure ka na this one, like di mo mapapahiya yung parents mo in a way.
Hindi. Like, I really didn't want to ask anything. Like, as that wasn't an option for me. Kasi I wanted to prove that this path works.
Were they pressuring you to go to the family business na?
Medyo. Kasi parang it's very stable. I could easily get into it. Yeah. It was very balanced. Alam mo yun, like.
And at this point, so you're learning things left and right, but you're random. Was there a point when you kind of felt like, baka I should go on to the family business?
No. I was young. I was 24, 25. I didn't care about money. I wanted like to pursue my passions. That's where I wanted to go. And then I started getting parang deep into food. Like, I was so addicted with food. I was watching everything, trying to learn whatever. I knew I couldn't put myself to culinary school kasi that's another expense. So parang, okay, I'll just learn everything by myself on the job. Like, I would go to the market. I would be there like 4 a.m. I would follow I remember I was running a poke shop in Maginhawa called Ahi Hawaii.
Okay.
And then umabot ako sa point na I wanted to know where Nihon Bashite gets their tuna.
Shit. Okay.
So I stalked the van where they would get their food early in the morning, followed them to the market where they would go, see the fish they would get, and I'd be there the next day, like 3 a.m. in Balintawak.
They never found
for fish.
They never found out that.
No, like I would follow them lang, trying to get supply. Ganun. It's parang, okay, I'll be there. Tara.
Okay.
Like,
And no one taught you about this. You just kind of figured these things on your own.
Wala.
Okay.
Like I didn't have anyone to teach me. So parang, and then I just got so addicted with food, and then I just realized, na, you know what, this is something I'm gonna pursue for the rest of my life. Like I can do this every day. I was the purchaser. I was the cook. I was the accounting.
Yeah.
Medyo bobo. Pero I was trying to do everything by myself. Pero
this is around 25 years old, no?
Yeah, I wasn't earning anything. Tapos parang I was just making the restaurant run, paying my staff more than I paid myself. So
you're sure, and intrigued ako with what you said. You're sure that you wanted to do this for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Was there like a moment, or is this like a gradual parang knowing of with these things? Kasi like when you talk about your purpose in life, or like pati like if you choose the person you're gonna marry, these are things na kasi the people say na you just know eh.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to quantify and like break it down. When do you reach the part where you just know? Like, how can you explain for
Mine
this?
was, I really had no money that time. Like, the money I had in my pocket was 800 pesos. Yun na yung bank account ko. That was yung pinapaikot ko for myself. And I was eating like, parang, just to make my restaurant survive, I was eating yung buy one take one ng Angel's Burger. Yung buy one sa lunch, yung take one sa gabi. Kasi 36 pesos lang yun.
Oh, okay.
And then, and I was parang waking up at 4, 5 a.m. and then sleeping at 1 every day yun. Like, making the restaurant run, making it run. Tapos, I could do it every day. Like, non-stop.
You didn't feel like na tinatamad ka? Or
Napapagod, pero never akong tinamad. And then, that's when it started clicking na parang, ba't ko to ginagawa? And then, anytime a customer would come in, kahit gaano ka busy, kahit gaano ka drained ako, I would go up to the customer, I would talk to them, I would parang really make friends with them, ganyan.
Okay.
And then, I could do it every day in, day out with anybody that's there. If a customer would say, pwede bang pa-deliver ng whatever, I'll take a trike, I'll go there. It's parang, I'll run back to the shop.
This is the shop in Maginhawa pa rin. The next one in food, is it Sabong na or is there
That
more?
was Sabong na.
Okay, how did this one start naman?
So, the entire time that was happening, I was starting to go to La Union.
Okay.
And then I started meeting people here that was trying, parang doing what I was doing, like rolling up their sleeves, putting in the hard work, pero with more traction, pero in a smarter way, pero with culture and a community involved. So, I met sila Kiddo of El Union when they were just running a small shop inside Flotsam. Before nga, dun pa sila
before the El Union here? Okay.
El Union used to be inside a bigasan, parang an old bigasan near 7-Eleven that side.
Okay.
And then they ran a small shop inside Flotsam, kung saan yung pizza area ngayon. That was El Union.
That was when parang it was just Kahuna here, no? Like there's nothing else.
Parang ganon. And a small Flotsam with a small kubo and a few rooms. Yun lang yung time na yun. Tapos parang I met them and they were hustling, pero I could sense that they were building a community. Tapos every time I came back, they kept telling me na, no, sige, kaya mo yan. Like, just keep going on with what you're doing. Like, just keep going on with food. Huwag ka matakot sa ginagawa mo. We'll be here to support you. We'll be here to teach you whatever we know. Ganyan. And then, that's when it clicked for me na parang I think I should do something in La Union. Like, these are the people I can learn the most with. And they're doing everything I want to do.
What year was this when it clicked?
2016. 2016 was when Flotsam started pumping. And then El Union started pumping. And then parang I remember having a conversation with the owners of Flotsam and with sila Kiddo, with sila Rafi, ganyan, telling them na if ever Flotsam decides to expand, because I fell in love with their community and how they parang do business and do their stuff. If ever you do expand, please include me in the narrative. Like I'll do anything.
I'll
do
figure
something.
out where I fit in.
Yeah, I'll figure out where I fit in. I'll make whatever that's needed. Ganyan.
Yeah.
So they told me that they were making Great North.
This one.
This one.
Parang many stalls in one location.
And I think it was called Beach Hut before. I forget the name. Pero they were making Great North, and I told them to give me a good spot, parang I was one of the first people that said yes. Like, I'll go. Tapos sabi nila, like, ano gagawin mo? Like, hindi ko pa alam. I'll do something.
Yeah.
But,
Very sure ka na food.
Yeah, sure ako na food talaga. And then Rafi of Macay Bowls, Rafi Castillo, ate in my restaurant in Manila. And then he wanted to bring that here. Parang, okay, mag-partner tayo. Let's bring that here.
Oh, okay.
Ganon siya.
Did that what's the name again? Sorry, of the one in Maginhawa?
Ahi Hawaii.
Ahi Hawaii. Did that have chicken?
No, it was a poke place.
Okay.
Like,
all right. So how did this transform to Sabong today?
At that point, you couldn't buy salmon and tuna in La Union. It's not a fishing town if it's a surf spot.
Yeah.
Like, kaya sa Siargao, wala masyadong fish.
Yeah.
So, I couldn't get fresh sashimi grade tuna fish here. So, I wanted to do something else. Tapos parang, I told them, like, give me like 5 months. I'll R&D
figure it out.
Something. Tapos non-stop na yun, like, I just started cooking, trying to figure out where I wanted to go. And that's where chicken came into play. Na parang, you know what? No one's claiming
the chicken.
No one's claiming chicken. Like, bakit pag conversation of chicken, it's just Jollibee, Hotdog, KFC, mini stop, whatever. And then you go into the super mahal ones like Kettle and all that shit before.
Okay.
So, okay, I'll play. Like, I'll play that middle game.
Yeah. The chicken, I used to think that the chicken is a very saturated market, but there's so many. Chicken's one of my favorite things in the world.
Same.
Like,
Same.
I love Frankie's wings, but even that is it's a different.
Yeah.
It's the same chicken, but it's a different
experience.
animal.
Yeah. Tapos parang wala na. Like, I told them, like, okay, I'll make chicken. I was telling them, like, I'll make the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Kahit na hindi pa ako marunong at that time. Like, I'll figure it out. I'll probably figure it out. Ganyan.
A lot of your career moves, it's a lot of like, medyo bahaga na, I'll figure it out, and you just kind of just shoot for the stars. Was there any slips in the way, or have you always just been hitting bullseye every time?
There were. I hate to say this, but as an Aries, nandun
okay,
ako, like,
alright.
I jump into things and then I think after.
Wait, sorry, what's your birthday?
March 23.
Okay, alright. So that's the Aries.
So, as an Aries in me, I would jump and then think, parang paano kaya to?
Okay.
But I knew that parang I believed in myself so much na if I go into something, I won't go into it like half-assed lang. Like, I'll think about it, I'll really perform, I'll be there. Ganyan.
Yeah.
So, a lot of it was calculated. And then every mistake and everything I learned along the way led to the next thing. Like, teaching taught me how to talk to people with confidence, with all the confidence in the world.
Yeah.
And I would do that in Ahi because that's what I could talk to my customers, sell them anything. Or
and even I would imagine that the customers is one thing, but you can't expect it. But then talking to when you buy the food, all the backstage stuff.
Yeah, and I'd be friends with them. I'd be friends with the suppliers, with my customers, with their friends, and parang ganon, like, that became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then that became the stage for me learning how to run a restaurant. Parang, okay, I built it from the ground up. I ran it morning till night.
Yeah.
So it made me understand like how to run a restaurant. So doing it here, I just
medyo gets mo na.
Parang got all my mistakes. Tas parang, okay.
Was there any last thing on the mistakes? Was there like a big one? Do you remember any big one, or are they all just kind of like mistakes on the side?
I'm not gonna name any specifics.
Okay.
But it's just a lot of dealing with partners.
Okay, that would be the most challenging thing.
That's the most challenging thing. Like, it's easy to run a business. It's hard to deal with people. Parang my best advice would in business, hindi man best, but
a
for
good
people
one.
starting it is to never do it with your friends. Unless you're like really, really good. Hindi nga eh. Don't do it with friends. Parang hindi pwedeng yun yung basis.
You didn't meet just because you're friends and that's why you're doing it together?
No, like, kunyari may best friend ka.
Okay.
Tapos parang, uy, start tayo business. Like, no, don't do it.
Okay, so are you telling me the shared parang thing between you and the partner shouldn't be, the main thing isn't the friendship, that's why you're doing it. It's because of the business.
It has to be a shared, parang I can bring this to the table, you can bring this to the table, this person can bring this.
Yeah.
So that's why we're gonna do a
business. Those
business.
skills.
Oo. Pag hindi, and it's just, I trust you, we're friends. That's gonna fail. You're not gonna be friends in like a year.
Based on experience.
Sure. Based on experience.
Oh man. Yeah. A valuable lesson. Although sad if you lose a friendship with that. Pero I get scared kasi with friends and family, like business or usually things to do with money. Parang it's always kind of like a touchy subject.
Money's gonna break friendships, like end relationships, whatever.
Yeah.
Money talaga is a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's something that it's hard to talk about kasi money is like a sensitive topic
Yeah,
that
it
people
is, no?
avoid.
Especially in the Philippines.
Yeah, so parang if it's friends, mahirap. You-
Pero if you tipong if I introduce this business partner of mine to a party, I have to introduce him as my business partner. Like it's that
Oo,
relationship na because
oo.
you know na you guys are that close because of the business, because of the work. It's
And-
more normal to talk about the money.
Yeah, and the thing pa is, you deal with money so much when you're doing a business. The small
Yeah.
slip-ups, small ganyan.
Yeah. It'll
You
pile
start,
up eh.
you start questioning your friendship, you start questioning
The character of
the
this
character
person.
of this person, ganon.
Okay.
And so that was my mistake in my first restaurant.
Yeah.
So going into the second one, going into Sabong, I made sure that I was their only friend. Like, okay, we started off as 4. Like, 4 tayo, pero hindi kayo friends. Like, ako lang kilala nyo.
I'm
bringing you guys together.
Okay.
Like, I interviewed, I think, 60 people. I would have dinner with them, ask them what their plans are, why you want to start a business
Yeah.
with me, or why you want to partner up. Tapos parang I would pick their brains on their habits and their ganyan. Tapos pag may red flag, like, hindi na to. Like, out, on to the next dinner.
Okay. Wait, where do you find the balance though? Because you mentioned that with business, with work, it's really mainly about dealing with people. So in a sense, you still kind of have to get along with these people.
Yeah.
There still should be
Yeah.
that friendship. So where do you find that balance of like,
You kind of have to see all the red flags.
Yeah.
And then you pick the one with the least.
or the red flags that parang kaya mong
like,
or
I'm sure
compliments pa
when
rin.
they saw me, they saw all the red
There's-
flags also.
yeah.
Pero parang, hindi, we can work around this. Like,
Wala naman kasing perfect eh. Wala
Oo.
namang perfect.
pero parang, we can work around this, and once you start it, parang the hardest thing with business isn't to start it. And you can start any business any day. Like,
Yeah.
if I want to be, kunyari, surf instructor, if I wanted to be a business,
Yeah.
surf instructor school, ganyan, I can do it, but can I actually surf? Hindi.
Yeah. And
But-
to keep it
And to
running and keep
running,
it going.
That's hard, but to start it, like, it's easy to start.
Okay.
So once it starts running, that's where you see all the red flags,
Okay.
all the ganyan.
So now it's been 5 years now. 2016 is when you started when you started Sabong. How has the most challenging part? How has that been especially with the pandemic happening?
So with Sabong has been a ride, like one of the craziest rides I think I'd been in. Tapos it's honestly the most successful business I've made in so far.
Mhm.
I'd say the same for my partners. Parang we never expected the amount of support we got when we started every week and every weekend since then. Parang it never stopped, to be
Mhm.
honest. Like, it never stopped from day one until even through the pandemic, even until now. Like, I could feel na parang
Did you close at all during the pandemic?
we did. We closed. So yung kwento nun, 2017 to 2018, it was kind of rocky, ganyan. Pero, I mean, rocky in the sense na we were figuring things out, what the costings were.
Were you
What the
making a
syst-
profit na or
Yeah, we were making.
You were- okay.
Yeah, like, it was.
Okay na.
It was
Okay na
nice.
pala. Okay na
Sobrang
pala.
okay
The
na.
way you're saying kasi parang sounds like
Sobrang okay.
breaking even. Di
like,
pala.
No. Like,
Oh, that's good.
it broke even really fast. Like,
Uh-huh.
disgustingly fast.
Okay.
But to keep it running and keep it sustainable and making parang getting the right team, yun yung medyo matagal.
Mhm.
But then, like, 2019 was like the best year. Like, it was the most people in La Union.
Yeah.
Non-stop sales na yun. Every weekday was full.
I think I went here thrice in 2019.
Diba?
I'm one of those many people
Diba?
from Manila who've been
Na
here.
tuloy-tuloy.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point na parang we got the right partnership, parang deal down.
Yeah.
Tapos we knew each other's tendencies na we knew how, parang I knew when Rafi was tired. Rafi would know when I
You
was
knew
tired.
how each other ticks.
Yeah, like sobra na yun. Like, alam namin na I wouldn't even have to think na kunyari morning, even if Rafi is drunk, or even if we're both drunk at night, I knew that Rafi would be here 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. running it na. And then I knew we wouldn't even talk na. Parang basketball. Yung hindi ka na
Oh,
nag-uusap.
no look pass mga
No,
ganun.
look past na. Parang he knew that I would know na by 1 p.m. he's tired. Tapos pag dumating ako ng 1, di kami mag-uusap. Switch lang kami. Like, front of house, switch. I knew where everything was. He knew where to put everything na alam ko.
Shoot. But that took a while to get that chemistry
like 3
and that
years, diba? And then, so 2019, the ball was rolling so much. And then 2020, the first 3 months were the best. Like, sales-wise.
2020, right before the pandemic.
Yeah, Jan, Feb, March.
Better pa than 2019.
Jan and Feb was better than October to December of 2019. 2 months beat 3 months.
Wow.
Na holiday-driven pa, diba?
Yeah.
So, wild na siya. Like, it was really wild. And then the pandemic happened.
Okay.
Tapos, right before, the weekend of the pandemic was a long weekend here in La Union.
There were people here.
Tapos, people got stuck, ganyan. Like, tapos, our team didn't know na mag-lockdown. Kasi, it was a weird rumor.
Yeah,
diba?
no one... I also, for a while, I was like, wala naman yung COVID
diba?
na yan.
Like,
Sa China gang yan.
COVID ba talaga? Like, there's one case. Like, one case? We're not gonna close La Union for one case, diba? So, what happened was, we ordered so much chicken. Like, we had, I think, 100 kilos. 120 something kilos.
Okay.
That's a lot. Right? That's, if you translate that in pieces, that's 1,600 pieces of chicken.
How long usually does this 10 kilos of chicken last?
Before, like maybe 4 days, 5 days. 5 days. 5 days yun.
Okay.
I think 5 days. Pero, so nung time na yun, we had like 100 kilos. And then, walang tao. Tapos lockdown. Like, lockdown Manila, lockdown La Union. Everybody's on lockdown, diba? Like, very strict.
Lockdown meaning you're stuck here or you can't operate your restaurant?
That time, parang biglang yun yung parang stay in the house. No one goes out. No one can do anything. Tapos parang, you have
100 kilos of chicken.
And we had like parang even the salsas we do, we had like 2 kilos, 3 kilos of just like a bucket of slaw, a bucket of corn, a bucket of ganyan. So I remember like for the first 2 weeks, we were just giving food away. Like we would go house to house. Yeah, for free. Parang, oy, gusto niyo chicken? Oh.
May sabong sticker ba? Marketing ba to? Or
wala. Parang Rafi would just started giving them away kasi parang wala na. Like wala nang point. Or maybe it was like a month after. But we started giving all their food away, ganyan. And then, even through the pandemic, parang I could feel na, we were down, pero people were still supporting us the same way. Parang,
as in, you were still operating?
We were operating konti. We tried pa. And then, it closed. We closed it here for like 2 months.
Okay.
2 months. And then, the time this closed, my mantra with business has always been, I want the people that do business with me or work for me to succeed the same way as me. That's always been the case. So minimum wage wasn't an option. Like we will never do minimum wage. We will provide as much as we can. Even in my first spot, kaya diba, in my first restaurant, wala akong sweldo, may sweldo staff ko. Like they can eat, they will eat well, they should be able to provide for their families. Tapos kung may matira, I'll take it. Like I'll take whatever. So here, if it's a big weekend and we do good, they do well also. Like they get incentives on their salary, they get all these things.
But they're not given shares.
It was supposed to happen at some point. Pero siguro dahil the pandemic, that's a conversation we're gonna have soon. Pero umabot sa point na yun, dapat magbibigay ng shares. Pero we were doing a lot of profit sharing. Kasi for me, like this has to make sense for them.
Yeah, it has to be theirs.
Yeah, it has to be theirs, and it has to be enough for them to get their kids to go to a good school, provide for their families. Buntis yung isang staff ko noon, so kailangan sagot namin yung panganganak niya, sagot namin yung initial pag-care niya sa anak niya, ganyan. Like, it was my mission na parang, my goal for you isn't to be my staff. I want you to head one of my restaurants someday. So I'll make sure to train you and provide for you until you get to that point.
Are these LU locals?
Yeah. A lot of them are locals, pero iba-iba. Like, not exactly from San Juan. Some of them are a bit farther.
Okay.
Tapos parang I was giving them food allowance, transportation allowance, all these things. Like, I'll make sure you get to work for free, eat for free, then take home mo na lahat. Ganyan.
So you have all these very colorful, the story so far of Sabong. Would it be possible? Could you name, I don't know, if there was like 2 or 3 main skills that through all these things that you did, from the teaching to the different restaurants you've had. I know communicating with people is one of them. That's what you learn in school. Like what bare skills from at this point would you say are the most important ones? Because a lot of jobs require different things, but there are always those parang basic skills na you're gonna need whatever you do.
A basic skill for me is just being patient.
Okay.
Patience is hard. It's hard. Like, especially if it's business. Like, people assume that when you run a business, you have to ROI. That's the goal. ROI ka muna and then you earn. Diba? That's always been the goal. But for me, when Sabong started, I wrote in the contract that no one can take money for 3 years. Like, no one will get any form of dividends for 3 years. Dahil lang we're gonna make mistakes. We have to learn.
Yeah. And you didn't want that pressure.
Yeah, like, bakit ka nagmamadali to get your money back? And if you do that, if that was the goal, you're gonna fail.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi pag nakuha mo na yung pera mo, okay, I'm done.
Sounds
Like, whatever. Like, I can just do whatever na.
You're thinking more long term.
Yeah, so my long-term thing was we have to keep learning. We have to keep adapting. We're gonna make mistakes, but we have to be patient and stay the course.
Okay.
Para siyang basketball and shooting, diba? Di porket nagkamagandang game ka one time.
Practice ka one day,
okay na, diba? Yeah, it has to keep happening.
Patience.
So patience. Like constant patience. And then the next thing, trait siya more than skill, but it's empathy. So you have to be you have to show empathy to the people you're working with, and parang how they are, what's happening to them in their daily lives. I think that's what matters the most in business. Whatever you do, whatever you run, what the concept is, any concept can succeed. To be honest, like.
If it's done well.
If it's done well, if it's run the right way, if it's run with people you trust, who trust you back, it's gonna succeed. Like, one of the most lucrative businesses in La Union was a laundromat. Diba? A laundromat.
Until now, or?
Yeah, until now. Or, parang, when did having a coffee shop be like a really cool business, diba?
Okay.
Ang dami-daming ganun sa Manila, but then here it's like,
what makes this one
like,
different and
it's
special?
because they listened to their staff, they built a community, they were patient in the process, they just ran the course, tried to build as much as possible. For me, yun siya. Just patience and empathy. Yeah. Sobrang yun lang.
Those two, patience and empathy. Yeah, there was a saying I heard before na everything you need to know in life, you've learned it in parang kindergarten. And it shows, it just evolves in different ways. Like, how are you going to be patient in your business? How are you going to show empathy to those people? So those two, patience and empathy.
Kasi, for example, like, with Sabong, we have a recipe down. Everything's down to like the gram. May science na siya. But then, the people running it won't care if they don't care about you and if you don't care about them. Parang, if you're just paying them, like, okay, bayaran kita, do your job. They're not gonna show...
I think it's a very Filipino culture
diba?
thing.
Filipino culture thing yun. Yeah. But then, like, if you're with them, if you go through the journey with them, and they feel na parang you're taking care of them, they'll take care of you too. Parang ganun siya. And then, syempre kung, for me, like, if I wasn't patient and I just wanted to get as much money as possible, every time na kumita kami, take home ko na yun, take home ko na to. Pero, paano kung magka-problema? Paano kung may kailangan yung staff ko na pera na for their kids or for their school?
It's a living thing. Business is a living thing.
Sobra, like, you have to be there. Hindi siya pwedeng, I'll build it, tas bahala na yan.
Yeah, okay. I want to ask naman about the other side. So we talked about we mentioned this a bit. You have a studio. So you still do music. You play the bass?
I played the bass for She's Only 16.
How many years?
She's Only 16 has been together for 13 years.
Wow.
13 years.
Did you expect that it would?
No. Fuck that.
13 years. Never. You never thought of changing the name?
We are in the process of sort of
rebranding. You are? Okay.
Not changing the name fully, but rebranding. But
like SOS or something?
Parang ganun. We'll see.
Okay. Sorry, I don't want to preempt your announcement.
We'll see.
Okay.
Pero something in that sense.
Okay.
Pero we never thought we'd get this far, to be honest. Like, we were one of the worst bands in high school eh. Ganun siya. Like,
Really?
yeah,
Weren't you
like,
joining mga battle of the
yeah,
bands?
like, and we
stuff?
never got in. Like, Poveda, AC, AA,
Oh,
Miriam, we never
really?
passed anything. 100%. Even Ateneo. We would play kasi nahihiya na lang sila kasi
Yeah, Atenista eh. Okay.
senior na yan, patugtugin nyo na. Ganun.
Oh,
But other than
okay.
that, we never played.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How did you guys stay? I mean, were you guys active all those 13
Yeah,
years?
we were very active.
all those 13 years.
So when we got to college, we got our big break with some prods that wanted us to play for them, blah, 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 blah. And then we were starting to get smaller. Parang we started to get small gigs that turned into like medyo big gigs.
Yeah.
And then 2012 we got signed. 2012? Yeah, 2012 we got signed by Universal Records as one of their first pa-indie bands.
Yes.
Ganon. Tapos they were parang begging us to go against Never the Strangers. Parang
Okay.
that made the close-up commercial at that time. Tapos parang we were the
shoot.
two
Yeah.
parang young bands that they wanted us to bring the music scene back or the band scene back.
Okay.
Ganon siya. Tapos, yun, like, that happened throughout college. We started playing bigger shows and parang we started touring in schools. Ganon.
Okay.
Tapos, tuloy-tuloy na until...
Okay. Fast forward now. From there, now even that aspect of your life has moved here to the beach. How
Yeah.
did that happen naman?
So, we decided to make parang as many songs as possible during the pandemic. Parang some bands became stagnant and then some bands became super proactive.
A lot of them made a lot of at-home
Diba?
songs.
Tapos we were stuck in the middle kasi we couldn't meet, we had no equipment, we had no anything. But the one thing we had for us was 2019, we were saving up all our money kasi we wanted to do this like small tour. Like tour kami and like we were talking to some parang bars in some countries. Tas parang
What countries are these?
like we were supposed to go to Taiwan and parang we wanted to do a show in Taiwan and Singapore yata. Parang ganon. Like
Nearby Asian countries.
nearby Asian countries.
Pero grabe, abroad na rin
Pero
yun.
ano yun, like we were gonna spend for it. Like
This
plane
was like
tickets.
this wasn't parang the tour, the typical tour like
Yeah,
you're gonna make money.
sponsored siya,
It's
ganun.
more of like
No,
it's like a friend trip, but
it
it's
should
like,
make money
uh-huh.
kasi we were gonna get ticket
Sale,
sales,
yeah.
ganyan. Pero like, to make it happen, we had to spend for
Yeah,
it.
okay.
Parang
This
ganun.
wasn't like your label wasn't gonna help you with this?
They were gonna help us, pero parang
Not
still
everything.
hella expensive, diba?
Yeah.
So parang we were saving up all our money, so we played all the shows in 2019 without getting money also. Like, let's just keep it in the bank.
Okay. You got the money, but
Yeah, like, we just
Okay.
kept saving
Yeah,
it and
yeah.
saving it.
okay.
Tapos, 2020 happened, diba? Like, the whole 2020, we were
Yeah.
stuck at home, we had money.
Oh.
Tapos we were having, like, small online shows, tapos parang, okay, nadagdagan pa konti-konti.
Yeah.
And then, this year, we decided na parang, okay, gagawin sa pera natin.
Yeah.
And then, sakto, that space opened up above El Union.
Mhm.
And then we got...
Here?
Yeah.
The studio's right here?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
right there,
shit,
above
okay.
El Union.
Okay.
And then, we're good friends with Kiddo, like really good friends with Kiddo. We used to do like a bunch of shows here in La Union. Tapos parang, he opened up this idea as a joke na parang, oh, tayo kayo na studio. Kung kaya nyo, ganyan. So, March, we all went up here March. We brought
this
some,
year?
Yeah, of this year. We brought some equipment, ganyan, randomly. Tapos we tried in a parang bodega. Sobrang malikabok. It had junk pa. We just tried making a studio. It's parang, kind of makes sense.
Did all your equipment come from Manila?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly like stuff we invested in nung malakas pa yung band scene.
Yeah.
And then some talk started happening and then El Union partnered up with us to make Bavarian Studios.
Yeah.
Ganyan. So
okay. Wait, when did this open? What month?
it opened like June. We
Okay.
started building it. Actually no, it opened September.
This year.
Because we started building mga June,
Mhm.
July. We started like construction and stuff. And then September was like, oh, it's up and running na, ganyan. Like, medyo tapos na siya, ganon.
Okay.
We started, we can record na and make music na.
Yeah. How does it work though? I mean, this is a studio for your band. Is it more of a personal studio? Is it also a business where you want to make profit from?
It started off as a personal studio. And then we started building it
Sorry,
so
can you
much.
make it a little near? Yeah.
We started
Thanks.
building it so much na parang it just makes sense to have people record na. Parang ganun na siya. So,
and has that been happening?
Yeah, like we have some projects with. So Ebedancel also moved here of Sugar
There you
Free.
go. You know, there was a guy I saw yesterday at Clean Beach. Like, this
Oh,
guy
yeah.
looks
I
like Sugar Free, but I don't wanna. I'm not, if it's not him, kakahiya.
Diba? He moved here na. He's like he's one street away from me. So he's doing a bunch of his shows here in our studio. Tapos
This studio has like it can be like a mini concert place.
parang the goal is to make it look like a tiny desk spot.
Holy shit! Oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I
And
love Tiny Desk.
Diba?
Oh my
That's
god,
the peg.
okay.
And then one of the guys who shoots Coke Studios is a local here. So parang it just
Okay.
makes sense. Okay, video meron na, audio meron na, we just need artists. Tapos kami na yun. Like
Yeah.
we have it's us, it's parang our network na parang okay, kung gusto niyo mag-record sa Lon yun, come
Have
up.
you been like talking to La Union local artists? Have you ventured into that part?
We're starting to.
Yeah.
We're starting to. Nandun na kami sa parang
that's exciting.
we're trying to find more people to record in the studio dun. Pero yeah, lately it's been a fun space lang. Like we've been doing a bunch of our shows here na medyo tiny desk vibes nga. And then
Oh my god.
it just made sense na parang when that opportunity happened, as a joke, we all also started looking for houses. Na parang wala lang, mali mo mag-move tayo dito, baka lang. So it was me and King, si Crown the producer.
Without the O.
Without
Crown.
the O. Yeah, it was.
Wait, sorry, is
dalawa.
Crown? She's only 16.
Yeah, he's the drummer of. He's
What's
our drummer.
what's his name? Sorry.
King.
Makes sense. There you go.
Crown was
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't. Sorry, I
did.
didn't. I had no clue. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry, go on.
Yep. And then we just started looking for houses. Parang as a joke, like, uy, bagay itong house ito sa'yo,
Yeah.
ganyan. And after 2 weeks, biglang nagka-message dun sa group na, uy, nagbayad namin down payment.
Oh
Tapos
shit.
parang si King, like, oh, ako rin. Tapos parang,
What? Ano?
are you moving? Are you moving here? Tapos so he has a house like, parang a bit farther north. Mga 5 minutes away, ganyan. In the middle of a palayan.
Yeah.
There's a nice house there. And then I'm renting a house here also. And then sila Senya found out na parang we got a house. So they went up a week after this. They started looking for houses.
Are all of you?
So
do
we're
all of
all
you
here.
have
We're
places
all,
na here?
Yeah, we all have places
Oh
na
my
here. Everybody
gosh.
just moved.
Okay.
Just because.
What an exciting time in your life, man.
Oo nga eh. Medyo weird.
Yeah.
But everything's here na.
Yeah.
So it became easier to do stuff, to make music. Since you have a studio na, it became easier to do shows kasi we have a video team that can do it. And then now, the problem before, why I couldn't go to Sabong was we had gigs. She's on 16 during the weekends. Na usually sabay with long weekends in Manila.
Okay.
So now that Sabong's here, studio's there, di parang...
And it's literally, it's not even like a car of 1 minute walk away. It's in the same building.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So now like my work is in the same place.
Yeah.
Like na-situate ko siya na the 2 main passion projects I'm doing now have...
And they're doing well.
Yeah.
My God.
So now parang at least nasa isang space na lang sila. And they're both in the
Good
sense.
for you, man. Good for you. You got the career. I'd say you have the career aspect down of moving here to La Union, the Sabong and then the studio. How about like the rest of your life? Kasi uprooting yourself and planting yourself in another place. It's always, I don't know. It's always, as someone who has lived only in one house my entire life, I always see that's a very challenging thing to do. How did you sort of get the other? Was there a challenge for you to get the other parts of your life in check, like being away from your family? I don't know, the other things, the social life.
It's paano ba? It was weird in the start kasi I also just lived in one place my entire life and I'm an only child pa, diba?
Oh, okay.
So parang like we're a very tight-knit family sort of thing. Pero parang I just started parang during the pandemic. During the pandemic, these pandemic reflections.
Yeah.
But
it's true, no?
Yeah.
It's
so
cliche
much
now,
time
but pati ako, marami akong mga...
And then, my big question was, what do I want to do with my life? Or like, parang, how do I want to live my life? And then, I realized na, as much as it's parang evolving and going to the next step, ganyan, it was also a lot of, I want to value my time and I want to do what I want to do. Parang I want to be able to pursue the things I want and have time for myself also and have a lot of breathing room. I want to hear the ocean. I want to be not stuck in traffic because I live in Fairview. So, getting anywhere is like plus an hour, diba?
That probably helped your move, no? Living in Fairview.
Parang, alam mo, layo eh. So, yun, parang umabot sa point na I would calculate my day stuck in traffic. So, parang if I was stuck like 3 hours a day, ilan yun in a year, and that equates to like, I think, 24 days of me just stuck in traffic.
A year?
A year. Because of the hours I spend.
That's a good way to parang justify or sort of, I don't know if you wanted to have numbers on how feasible and why is it practical to move. And
then at the same time, like, it became a question of why would you want, parang what is the main purpose of you being in Manila? Other than your family. Let's say you can take that part out na parang they can visit you can visit them anytime. Like, okay, like, that's down. But what binds you to Manila? Is it like your career? Is it your work? Is it familiarity? Is it being able to go out and have access to things?
Yeah, so you turn the question instead of it just being mainly because it's why am I gonna move? Why am I gonna leave?
Yeah.
It's why am I staying here?
Yeah, like, is it, do you see yourself ba na parang if I move, that means my family has to be situated there. Tas yung mga anak ko hindi mag-Ateneo or the whole.
Yeah. So you have you answered those questions?
Yeah. Just because of the people I met here. Parang the people I met here came from so many different backgrounds.
All walks of life.
All walks of life. I met so many people na hindi nakapagtapos ng college but are hella successful and also sobrang humble. I've met people na literally parang sobrang successful at the same time they get to do parang yung vacation mo is their life.
Yeah.
So why can't I have that? Like, why can't my life be someone's weekend but 24/7?
Yeah. So as an Atenean who was the typical Ateneo your whole life, I would just assume that it is one of your dreams to have a son to do the same thing. It's still one of my dreams. I'm questioning that dream.
I would highly suggest you question it.
Yeah. Do you have that dream, Brian, or it's gone?
Just because, like, when you were in college, did you know what you wanted?
No. Honestly, till now, still asking that question.
Or like when you were a kid, that wasn't something that you were taught. You were just taught to be a good person, follow these rules, be an efficient worker. Yeah. Diba? Like, that's why you do the tests and a line. That's why you parang factory.
That's why I follow the rules.
Diba? Tas parang you were never taught to question things. Kasi may sanction siya. Like, bakit may haircut rule? Ewan ko. Nakalagay sa rule book eh. Yun daw yung tidy eh. Yeah. So, parang may mga cultural norms and structural norms na you couldn't get out of kasi that's how you were brought up, and yun yung na-realize ko. But then, for example, I met people here na their kids go to like parang a non-traditional type of learning.
Schools here.
Yeah, or not necessarily like schools here, pero yung nagpapalaki sa kanila are parents who used to be in our place before. Pero kunyari their school is experiential, not book. So for example, it's kunyari the solid liquid gas. They don't learn that by reading.
They see stuff.
Parang they're taught that, pero by holding it, by touching it, by smelling it, ganyan. And then in that school, meron silang 1 hour of parent time. 1 hour of parent time means, kunyari, yung dad mo barber. Pupunta yung dad mo sa school in that day, tapos sabihin niya, okay, I'm a barber, this is what I do, and this is how to do it. So they're taught different forms of careers you could do, tapos pwede mo siyang gawin, and it makes sense. Like, if you want to be a world-class barber, go. Kung gusto mo maging surfer, go. Kung gusto mo maging barista, bartender, a cook, a marketing whatever, sales whatever, pwede. And everybody can teach you that here at an early age. So kids here learn because they want to do it, not because they're forced to do it.
That's the difference.
Hindi dahil meron silang goal like honors, like second honors, first honors na ma-achieve. Yeah. But then they're passionate about it. So I know kids here na 10 years old is kaya maging barista in Al Union.
Kids.
Or
Iba yung rules. We had those rules na parang it was only after what year did you graduate? What age did you graduate? Mga 21, 22.
Yeah.
That's when you start
Diba?
to work. Pero you can start
Diba?
learning naman whatever age.
Diba? Tapos parang you were bred na parang okay, you're working hard and you're going to Ateneo kasi it lands you the best opportunity to get into those top companies.
Into those Ateneo
the
standard.
PNGs and the Unilevers, ganyan. Pero parang, yun lang ba yun?
Yeah. Or yun ba yung gusto mo?
Yun ba yung gusto mo?
It works for a lot of
yeah,
people.
It works for a lot of people.
Sure.
I'm never gonna hate on them because they're making so much money.
Good for them though.
Sobrang good for them. Like, nakakaingit. My friends there, galing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm honestly jealous most of the time.
Yeah.
But for everybody that doesn't fit the equation or doesn't fit the blueprint, paano na? Like, where do we go? Like, you probably never knew you could be a radio DJ.
Yeah, or host.
Or a host,
ganun,
diba? Parang that wasn't in the equation.
It was very an outlier thing eh. Na pwede paga.
It was a club. It was a club in high school. It was an org.
Yeah.
Tapos parang, no, it's not just an org. It could be a career.
It could be a way of life. Yeah.
Yeah, so why can't you do that?
Oh.
Like, you're taught
right.
na kunyari being a cook is a small job. But for me, like, I'd love to pay a cook more than anybody in Manila. If you're really good, like, cool. Like, I'll support you, I'll fund you, whatever. Diba? Or parang, I think, if you're not in the blueprint of what a perfect career is, or what you're thought a perfect career should be, it should be okay.
Yeah.
And there should be someone telling you na, pwede mong pursue yun, ito yung steps para gawin siya.
Yeah.
Ganon.
So that's kind of how you see yourself. If you're going to be a parent, that's kind of how you're going to go with it.
So parang, okay, edi, Ateneo grade school, kung gusto niya mag-college, whatever, sa Ateneo, go.
Yeah.
But like, you can learn anywhere. I'll make sure you still learn and you can still do whatever you want. Parang ganon. Like, if you want to go to school, go to school. Kung ayaw mag-school, edi, baka okay lang.
Wow.
Like, you can figure these things out. And the type of life I want to lead is, I want to be physically there. Like, if you want to learn these, sige, I'll be here. Like, teaching you these things.
This is a new way that I'd say our generation of Filipinos are really looking at life now more. And the way you're saying the pandemic stuff, I think that really helped. Na you're really kind of forced to, everything stopped. School stopped, work stopped, in a way na, what do you really wanna, do you wanna do with your life?
And my thing has always been, it's super idealistic. It's hella idealistic. And
so many things can go wrong.
So many things can go wrong. So you have to really be patient in the process. At the same time, you have to check the boxes of how it's practical for you. Because that's been my rule. Like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do all these passion projects. I'll do all these uncertain things, these risks. Pero I'll be very practical about it. So that's why I took my family business. Parang I took the opportunity to get into my family business.
There's still money naman.
I need money flowing. Tapos, I do all these other things kasi they check the boxes of me financially,
sustaining yourself and your life.
A business can, this business or this sideline hustle can pay for my house. This sideline hustle pays for my phone. This sideline hustle pays for my ganyan.
So it's not, I look at when I think about careers, no? Usually kasi yung very sexy and sikat stories are people who just drop everything and they focus on their main purpose. But actually that's not the statistically practical thing. Like, you need to have your other things that you don't really want to do. But the main things, Sabong, the band, how the trend I've seen through this conversation is that money, profit is not the main driving force.
Yeah, it can't be. It can't be. Or if it is with some things, edi go. But
for you at least, your main things.
My main things can't be money driven, but all my other things, my hustles, they're money driven.
So that's where you find the balance.
Yeah, so I'm a stock trader. I do all these sideline rackets. I do these whatever things. Para lang financially I'm covered.
Yeah.
And then everything else, pwedeng hindi na.
Do you enjoy these sideline things? Because I'm thinking, are you still in the patient stage? Do you feel like you're still in the growing stage? Kasi you said nga Sabong's doing really well. Like, have you thought of why can't I, instead of having to do more things, the sideline stuff, what if this main thing I'm doing actually is also really doing well financially, that I don't need to do all these other stuff on the side?
Because I think I enjoy all the other stuff.
You also enjoyed. Okay,
Yeah. So
that's
parang
good. Let's do it there, and I enjoyed it.
diba? Parang I honestly enjoyed trading stocks and whatever.
Marketing for your
marketing, and I like trading crypto. Alam mo yun? And I like doing parang I like endorsing things or whatever when I can. So parang,
the chains, I saw that. The chains and the t-shirts,
yeah.
mga ganun.
So parang I'll do it. It's fun for me.
Yeah.
And it also covers some bases.
Yeah.
But
it checks
I
the boxes.
honestly think I wouldn't be able to do these things if I didn't do all those things also.
Gets.
So,
it complements each other.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's
Okay.
where the practicality comes in and the patience comes in. Kasi nakakatamad naman talaga siya gawin.
Yeah.
But if it checks the boxes, then I'll check the boxes.
Okay. I have one more question, then we'll have one quick game. That's we're good now.
Okay.
Do you, from all these things, the way I'm understanding your story also, things kind of just fell into place. Like you were asked to teach, you're asked to do this restaurant, then you met people in the Union. Do you think that you're just very lucky? Do you think that there's some great force who parang designed these specific things to fall this way? Or is that kind of just how life goes for you? Na parang you just end up, the opportunities just kind of arise and you're just doing your thing now and you just got to be ready when it comes?
I honestly think I'm the opposite. Like, I think I'm very unlucky with things. Kasi parang some people are just handed generational wealth. And you can do whatever you want. Like, I've had friends, kapag graduate ng college, binigyan ng Petron. Alam mo yun? Like, run our business. Like, it's a Petron. It's not gonna...
You think those people are lucky?
I think those people are lucky kasi parang, in some sense, na parang they can literally do whatever they want with no consequence. Like, they can run a business and have unlimited funds and do whatever they want. Parang for me, that's luck. But for me, everything, all the paths I've gone through in my life, I felt like I was always the underdog. Tapos yung chance na dapat ko makuha, never kong nakuha. Like, with the whole band thing, like, we never got into any big opportunities. We were the worst band out there. But we just stayed the course. Even with my first restaurant or my stall in BGC before, parang that was an opportunity. Yes, I took. But every day I went, I had no help. I had no anything. I just rolled up my sleeves. Tapos tara na, let's do it. So it's a lot of labor and patience and annoyed nights and parang ganun. Like, I was tired as hell. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, sobrang pagod, sobrang kadiri. I didn't enjoy. There was a point in my first restaurant na to make it, I had to, and kasi we weren't getting sales na at some point because my first restaurant didn't do so well. Pero to survive, parang I was eating like, meron na bibili sa palengke na parang 30 pesos for 30 pieces na squid balls. Tapos naka-ration yun. Like, for 5 days, 6 pieces ka a night with whatever rice you have remaining. Tapos parang you make.
Do you feel like you needed that? Do you feel like, did that help?
I wish people don't go. Parang, that's why whenever I know a friend that's gonna go into business, I'm never shy with information. Like, I'll tell you everything I know. Don't go through my shit because it's dumb.
It's not one of those parang, like, I
go through the grind. Like, wag na.
Not
like,
needed.
Skip that. like, be smart.
Okay.
But I think, like, my first restaurant failed. My first shop failed. My first job wasn't parang I thought like it's a glamorous thing to say, it's a fun thing to say, it's a fun conversation starter, but during that time financially I was down. When I left my job, I had no cash to start anything. So it was a lot of okay, parang what do I do next? What do you do next?
Yes.
So it's a lot of that. But I think the best thing that got me through was just believing in myself.
Yeah. And the patience.
And, I think honestly there's a higher force out there.
Yeah.
Parang
that sort of
not guiding me through it or giving me the chances, pero just like, de kaya pa yan.
Yeah.
Next
do you
day.
feel are there times when you feel like a certain nudge na you don't know where it's from na baka kaya ko pa to?
Laging ganon. Lagi siyang ganon. Like, kaya pa yan. Next day. Go through the next
one day at a time.
Yeah, go through the next day.
Wow,
and then you power through. And then
Interesting, man. I've seen your posts and I've always found them interesting, the thoughts. But to hear the story actually Wow, I'm learning a lot. Okay, our game, quick game. Tito Boy has Faustalk here on the Anton on One podcast. It's Faustalk. Okay, so I'm gonna give you blank or blank, and then you answer top of your head. But the difference is we can go through some explanations compared to how they do it. Not super fast, naman. All right, first, do you like listening to a live performance or studio recording of a
Live
song?
performance any day.
What is the magic of it?
It's so good. Like, to be honest, nothing will ever beat the energy of a live performance. Like there are bands better live.
Are there some that you can name top of your head?
If you've never watched a Lions and Acrobats gig,
Lions and Acrobats,
yeah.
okay.
Ibang-iba talaga. Like, if you see them live, like, or even Mundo, like Four of Spades Mundo, when he goes
yeah,
and the whole room goes silent, wala, like, sobrang goosebumps yun.
Okay.
Like, kakaibang experience yun.
Gets. I'll connect to that man. As a performer, do you prefer a sold-out stadium or an intimate pub or studio performance?
I like both. Pero stadium siguro.
Yung loud, yung
just because, like,
talaga. Hype.
If you jump, they jump.
Yeah.
If you shout, they shout. Parang may ganong feeling siya.
But if let's say it's like a regular thing, would you still want to have the stadium all the time or the intimate one?
Still stadium
pa rin.
Because you can do things. Like, you can have visuals. You can have, like, all these crazy things happening. Ganyan.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love that.
Okay.
I'd love to be able to do that and then say na parang, baka intimate na lang siya.
Okay. Pero let's get there first. Dun muna. Okay. Okay, sige. About the beach naman. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
I would say sunsets are one of my, in the pandemic also, one of the things that got me through, just watching the sunset every day. But the thing is, here kasi, you're spoiled, man. You got the whole thing. I have like this tiny patch of sky in my house. At if there's some color, kung konting pink, kilig na ako. But then here, ganda.
I'm not even kidding. Like, work stops here pag sunset. That was the rule for El Union before. Like, if it's the sunset, we all stop working. Even actually sa buong Great North, like 4 to 6 or 5 to 6.
Yeah.
Let's stop working. Let's sit. Let's watch the sunset. Tapos balik tayo.
Wow. I also do that, but just with myself. Like at home, like if I would schedule meetings, or that's why I have a 9 to 10:30 p.m. working window for myself. Na when the sun is starting to go down, when the show is starting, wala na. Don't talk to me.
Diba?
Give me my lawn chair and my music. That'd be good.
Konting lang. Like, time for yourself.
Kailangan. Okay, would you, ito naman, bad traffic or bad Wi-Fi?
Bad Wi-Fi.
You'd rather have.
My God. Traffic sucks.
You hate it.
As a fair viewer myself.
Okay, it's personal. It's personal for you. Okay, favorite thing about living by the beach?
Hearing the sound of the water every day. Yun siya. Like,
it doesn't get, I don't know if it was just the weather now, but it was so loud last night. You like that?
That's how it is usually every day.
And you like
except
that?
Summer. Pero I could do it. My house lives in front of the beach.
Mm-hmm.
So every day we would just bring chairs out. Tapos we would just listen.
And you'd listen to the waves.
Tapos balik. Like every day 4 to 6.
Not sunset. Even, you don't, when you watch the sunset, you don't play music with you?
No.
You don't?
Or we just talk. That's where parang me and my girlfriend would talk.
Oh, that's a beautiful
experience.
Just
sit. Parang upo lang kami lagi. Or when we all moved here, it became a thing na parang, saan tayo magka-sunset?
Yeah.
Tapos upo lang kami. It's parang listen to the water. Tas,
yeah. Ganda.
So tayo, dinner tayo.
Man. Okay, well, opposite side naman, what's the most challenging thing about living by the beach?
Access to things. Like, being in Manila gets you spoiled na even the smallest things you can find.
Like, just gotta...
It's as simple as like, gusto mo ng notebook. Parang papaisip ka like,
oh shit. Wala national dito, no?
Wala. Or like KFC. There's one KFC.
And there's one Jollibee here, I know.
And the entire stretch of San Fernando, San Juan, ganyan. Isa lang yung KFC. Parang ganun, like small, or movies. Like before Robinsons opened, if you wanted to watch a movie, you go up Baguio.
Oh,
which is
wow.
like a 2 hour, hour and a half drive. So doon ka mag movie, doon ka mag-shopping ng Uniqlo,
that's
whatever.
your taste of the mall.
And then you go back here.
Wow, okay. Besides family, you mentioned something, but besides family, what's one thing you really miss about Manila?
One thing I really miss about Manila, live shows.
Mm.
That parang being able to perform like
Perform or watch?
Perform. Like being able to perform like a couple of times a week, every week.
Yeah.
Parang it's an experience that I hate seeing other bands not having.
Oh, okay.
Especially the young ones na I know they're gonna be killing it if they go out there right now.
Yeah.
Kasi hindi na siya na-experience. Parang it sucks for me sobra.
Well, you have this studio and things seem like they're gonna change soon.
Things might turn around. Pero that feeling na hindi rin na-experience na other bands. Like, man,
okay,
you should have been there in Root. You should have been there before it closed. Or you should have been in whatever.
Well, even if it's a very sucky time now, I'd say for creative, for artists now, I think it's the birth. I'd like to believe.
Yeah.
Like it's the birth of like this studio pa lang. Like it's gonna come. It's gonna come.
Yeah.
It comes back to the patience then. What is no context? What is one song that you would recommend me to listen to?
One song I'd recommend you to listen to.
I'm gonna write this down.
Listen to Apologetic Dancer by Lazy Maguire.
By Lazy, I have not heard this artist.
That's Senya's side project.
Oh, is he Lazy Maguire?
Yeah.
That's his solo artist name.
Other persona.
Oh, is this on Spotify?
But it's really good, yeah.
Okay.
Really good. Like,
and
you should
see, I'll check it out. Thanks, man. Last question. Advice to your 25-year-old self.
Advice to my 20-year-old self.
25.
A 25-year-old self. Find a way to support yourself financially. Like, there were so many things I turned down just because I was so hard-headed na parang, no, I have to live my dreams.
I have to do it on my own.
Oh, yeah, I have to do it on my own. But, like, find a way. Just, like, roll up your sleeves a bit more. Kasi that's not something... Parang I can imagine 90% of people who want to pursue their passions or whatever, or start a business, or parang start working for themselves, ganyan. They're probably not gonna do that. They're probably
because
not gonna... Because it's hard. It's hard to parang admit to yourself that you have to do other things to survive that, and like start investing. For every kid right now who wants to like, who has money, you should be investing your money. Most of your money.
If you would redo it, would you have asked help for your parents?
No.
No parent.
Like I wanted my parents to enjoy their money, to be able to do whatever they
spend
want
on their
with
own.
it.
To spend on themselves.
Yeah, and it's the burden of I don't want them to feel like they're still helping me.
After helping you through so many years.
They got me through college and stuff. Like, stop. Like,
when you moved here, was it from your parents' house or were you living alone now?
House,
Okay.
I never moved
so
out
it's
there.
part of it.
Yeah, so parang,
Gets.
Like,
okay.
enjoy nyo na.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, man. Well, anyway, that's my last question. That's all my questions. Thanks again for your time. Thanks for making sabong. As in, every time I go here, I make it a point. Before I even knew you owned it, So no bullshit.
Thanks,
no bullshit.
man.
All right. Thanks, man. Thanks for this conversation.
Salamat.
Amazing.
Salamat.